masonry twisted girders ripping.
Aí!
Final anchors tear free. The remaining facade pitches forward and buries the empty concourse beneath stone. Rods shattered, shattered glass and choking dust. Fracture supports falling. Corridors end at welded plates inside an abandoned subterranean depot. Heavy shutters cover stair access and concrete blocks fill every service opening. Direction signs point towards sealed doors. The ventilation shafts narrow behind fresh grills. Even boots to circle the same box through sealed barriers. Locked corridors, enclosure blocked hatches. Perimeter escape, confined sealed barriers. Locked corridors, enclosure blocked hatches. Perimeter escape, confined sealed barriers. Locked corridors, enclosure blocked hatches. A security lock refuses every recovered key. Hinges sit behind armored housings, unreachable from the trap side. The crew maps each wall by touch, finding cold seams, black ducts, and a freight door too heavy to force. Sealed barriers locked, no passage answers back, leaving every route buried behind steel and stone. Search the perimeter, keep the crew together, and test each barrier with purpose. Isolation won't surrender. Loyalty turns 12 trapped hands into one tool before escape. Confined sealed barriers, locked corridors, enclosure blocked hatches. Perimeter escape, confined sealed. A maintenance ladder climbs toward a hatch pinned by poured concrete below. A drainage tunnel ends beneath an iron mesh cage. Phone screen show no reception through the layer. Wall supply sit in a shrinking pile while stale air settles near the lowest corridor. Sealed barriers, locked corridors, enclosure blocked hatches. Perimeter escape, confined sealed barriers. Locked corridors, enclosure blocked hatches. Perimeter escape, confined sealed barriers. Locked corridors, enclosure blocked. Knuckles detect a hollow section behind stacked lockers. The crew clears them quietly and exposes a brick utility opening. Each person takes a tool, attacking separate mortar joints until the sealed surface begins to loosen around its center. Sealed barriers break the weakest border, pass debris backward and wide in the opening without splitting the group. Fresh air reaches through the first gap, shoulder by shoulder. We carve a route where none existed, carrying every member beyond the enclosure. Before the ceiling should find sealed barriers, locked corridors, enclosure blocked hatches. Perimeter outside air floods the breached utility shaft as the last person crawls clear, and the block depot remains behind. Sealed barriers, confined sealed barriers, enclosure blocked hatches. Bus bars tremble behind an open distribution panel as blue sparks crawl between exposed contacts. A damaged insulator spits white flashes into the cabinet. Meters jump without pattern. Copper traces blister relays misfire, and sharp interference crackles through every connected control line. Arcing contacts, voltage interference. Copper relay surges, insulation current discharge. Arcing contacts, voltage interference. Copper relay surges, insulation current discharge. Arcing contacts, voltage interference. Copper relay surges, insulation current. Charge gathers along the ground to frame. A loose terminal spits and arc across adjacent rails, leaving black pits and polished metal. Technicians pull back as voltage swings drive erratic commands into pumps, locks, and rotating in equipment. Arcing contacts, voltage interference. Static cuts the circuit, slicing clean commands into bursts of electric violence. Ride the interference, protect the crew and turn each hostile surge into power for the climb. Sparks attack every junction, but our focus stays grounded when corrupted current lashes through the room. Arcing contacts, voltage interference, copper relays. An arc plume blooms between 2 feet of bars bright enough to erase the panel markings. Magnetic force kicks cables against their clamps. Breakers trip, reset, then chatter under returning noise downstream. Motors jerking conflicting directions while scorched insulation releases a bitter cloud around the enclosure. Arcing contacts, voltage interference, copper relays. Surges, insulation current discharge. Arcing contacts, voltage interference, copper relays. Surges, insulation current discharge. Arcing contacts, voltage interference. Frequency spikes punch through the diagnostic screen. One probe catches a false house, reading another melts at his tip. Behind face shield, steady hands, isolate the dense branch and hold the main feet against another violent fluctuation. Marking contacts, voltage interference. Ground the stray charge, split the infected branch and keep the central power moving toward the floor. Every flash exposes a weak connection. We convert danger into knowledge, then rebuild the past stronger while electric noise dies inside the severed line. Arcing contacts, voltage interference, copper relays, surges insulation, current discharge. Final breakers settle. Faint sparks fade behind. Smoke glass while repaired feeds carry a steady load back through the club. Arcing contacts, voltage interference, copper relays. Terminals display conflicting shipment totals inside a windowless data office barcodes. Point to missing crates, timestamps overlapping out the signatures. Print the spit, revise, manifest before clerks finish reading the previous versions. Every screen offers another convincing contradiction. Corrupted entries, forged timestamps, distortion, archives, misread files, evidence, deception. Corrupted entries, forged timestamps, distortion, archives, misread files, evidence, deception. Corrupted entries, forged timestamps. A clean entry changes while the cursor rests elsewhere. Backup logs contain gaps shaped like deliberate edits. Operators compare paper copies, finding serial numbers shifted by one digit in delivery routes assigned to non-existent docs. Corrupted entries, forged timestamps. False records poison trust, turning every verified fact into a weapon for thieves. Trace the edits, protect the crew, and expose the hands behind the polished lies. Our loyalty survives corrupted files because real work leaves marks no fabricated ledger can erase. Corrupted entries, forged timestamps, distortion. A database mirror returns forged inspection. Photos attached to genuine case numbers. Audio transcripts lose crucial seconds between questions and answers. Someone has planted duplicate accounts that confirm each other. Analysts isolate the infected server but copy distortions. Already travel through every connected terminal. Corrupted entries, forged timestamps, distortion. Archives, misread files, evidence, deception. Corrupted entries, forged timestamps, distortion. Archives, misread
不管去哪里都
files,
没有比这更
deception.
好的旅馆
Corrupted
啦。
entries, forged timestamps. One discarded receipt breaks the illusion. Its physical stamp matches a warehouse camera frame. The archive marked empty. The crew builds a parallel timeline from scars on crates, fuel slips, and voices that no editor managed to replace. Corrupted entries, strip away the fake approvals, compare every source and follow material evidence. Beyond the screen lies multiply quickly, but they cannot move, wait, or hide every witness. We rebuild confidence through proof that make the guilty answer to the people they betrayed. Corrupted entries, forged timestamps, distortion. Archives, misread files. Corrected files replace the forged chain. While printed evidence locks inside a cabinet, untouched by the compromise network. Corrupted entries, forged timestamps, distortion. Archives, misread. Turnstiles, jammers, bodies pour from opposing platforms into one tile passage. Shoulders track, shoulders rails bending, drop bags vanish under stampede shoes. A bottle bursts against a pillar. One shove travels through the packed tall, multiplying until the center mass surges. Without direction, stampede, collision pack, shoulders surging. Barrier shouting pressure, recoil chaos. Stampede, collision pack, shoulders surging. Barrier shouting pressure, recoil chaos. Stampede, collision pack. Shoulders surging, pressure builds from both entrances. Elbows rise for breathing room, voices overlapping. Metal fencing rattles against his bolts. Nobody sees the first fall. The rear ranks keep driving forward while the front spins in an uncontrolled impact. Stampede, collision pack. Crowds break formation, spilling over barriers in a violent chain of bodies and noise. Hold your people close, brace against the sideways rush and cut toward open ground. feeds each collision, but loyalty keeps our circle standing. When the pack floor turns savage, stampede, collision pack, shoulders surging, barrier. Security lines buckle near the ticket wall, a wave of runner slams, vending machines sideways, scattering glass beneath hundreds of feet. Someone climbs a kiosk and points toward an exit, yet three separate currents collide below. Coat snag on torn mesh, hands pull strangers up right before another crush arrives. Stampede, collision pack, shoulders surging, barriers, shouting, pressure, recoil, chaos, stampede. Sirens cannot organize, the whole commands dissolve inside the roar, while pressure shifts toward the stairs. Our crew links forearms, forming a moving brace that absorbs each hit, then advances through a pocket opened by the recoil. Stampede, collision pack. Stay connected through the surge, shield anyone down and move diagonally beyond the densest clash. The mass keeps splitting and recombining, driven by fear and blind momentum. We earn escape together, hauling every member clear before the final barrier gives way. Stampede, collision pack, shoulders surging, barriers, shouting, pressure, recoil. Outside, scatter groups, catch breath, beside. Then the shutters as the station continues shaking under the force, trapped inside. Stampede, collision pack, shoulders surging, barrier, shouting. Yeah. Bulkheads holding on to force, nobody in the chamber can see. Gauges creep upward by single marks, while workers avoid sudden movement. A tightened cable gives one faint metallic tick. Condensation beads along pipe joints, and the locked hatch bows almost imperceptibly at its center. Compressed tension, sealed strain, waiting. Gauges restraint, contain danger. Release compressed tension, seal strain, waiting. Gauges restraint, contain danger. Release compressed tension, seal strain, waiting. Breathing sounds too loud in the narrow room. Gloves hover near release valves without touching them. Each second adds weight to the still air, yet every instrument remains just below alarm, trapping the crew inside a dangerous pause. Compressed tension, pressure waits behind silence, packed against steel until 1 week seemed to size the room. Stay control, read each tremor and protect the crew from panic. Ambition survives by patience, loyalty holds our hands steady, while invisible force prepares its violent waiting. Gauges restraint, contain danger. A needle quivers near the final red line. The bent wheel resist and moves a fraction under two careful hands. Somewhere behind the wall, liquid strikes a closed elbow. With the dull knock, nobody turns. Attention stays fixed on the hatch bolts, beginning the stretch. Compressed tension, seal, strain, waiting. Gauges restraint, contain danger. Release compressed tension, seal, strain, waiting. One sharp ping crosses the chamber. Dust drops from a ceiling joint and everybody braces without a word. The supervisor signals 3 slow turns on the bypass valve, gambling that measured relief will reach the trap line first. Compress, hold the formation through the strain and give the force one control. Path outward, the pipe shakes, the chamber answers. Then the gauge begins to fall. We win without waste, proven restraint can carry more power than reckless action. Compressed tension, seal, strain, waiting. Gauges restraint, contain danger. Release compressed, bolts stop stretching. The hatch settles flat as released. Vapor crawls along the floor intense. Hands finally unclench. Compressed tension, seal, strain. Waiting gauges. Floodlights sweep a fence, loading district where cameras pivot above numbered lanes. Armored officers pace behind mesh barriers, checking badges and directing workers in the marked squares. Wrist restraints click beside inspection tables, loudspeakers issue time commands, while steel shutters divide the compound into smaller control zones. Surveillance, command restraints, patrols, barriers, compliance, authority. Checkpoints define defiance, solidarity, surveillance, command, restraints, patrols, barriers, compliance, authority, checkpoints, defiance, solidarity, surveillance, command, restraints, patrols. A red beacon marks each permitted step. Guards close ranks beside the checkpoint. Batons angle toward anyone who hesitates. Names vanish in the coded list. Doors answer remote. Switches in every corridor. Narrows under relentless authority. Surveillance, command, restraints, patrols, barriers. Orders lock every gate. Forcing bowed heads through a corridor of cameras and armed control. Tear off the numbered bands. Refuse to measure pace and push together against a barricade. Their rule depends on silence. Inside loyalty turns resistance into coordinated force. Surveillance, command, restraints, patrols, barriers, compliance, lighted checkpoints. Search teams enter the dormitory, robe overturning lockers and tagging personal items for seizure. A supervisor watches from tinted glass while turnstiles trap bodies one at a time. Floor arrows dictate direction. Anyone stepping outside the painted boundary meets shields. Shattered warnings and another tightening ring of uniform. Surveillance, command, restraints, patrols, barriers, compliance, authority, checkpoints, defiance, solidarity, surveillance, command, restraints, patrol, compliance, authority, checkpoints, defiance, solidarity, surveillance, command. One whistle freezes the yard. Faces stay forward as scanners pass across them, but clenched hands straight a quiet count. When the inner shutter lifts, 12 bodies surge together, jamming its track before the patrol can separate. Nathan, surveillance command. Rip down the roster, block the cameras, and wrench the control lever from his guarded box. The compound shakes with boots moving as one. No badge decides our worth, no loudspeaker owns our pace, and the ruler breaks the bond carried through this fight. Surveillance, command, restraints, patrols, barriers, barricades topple across the yard while confiscated keys pass hand to hand. Opening each sealed drill boom before the guards regroup. Surveillance, command, restraints, brains, patrols, barriers. Processors hammer inside a sealed machine room where cooling fans scream at maximum speed. Heat stains spread over metal housings. Warning lamps flash faster as gauges pin against their stops. Dry belts chatter, bearings grinding overloaded. Cabinets vibrate hard enough to loosen every mounting screw. Overloaded motors, thermal warnings, strain. Bearings failing, coolant, maximum output. Overloaded motors, thermal warning, strain. Bearings failing, coolant, maximum output. Overloaded motors, thermal warnings. Thermal alarms stack across the console. Operators dump secondary tasks, but queued loads keep climbing. Hot air blasts from warp vents while lubricant smokes near the central shaft. Each force cycle strips more life from the exhausted hardware. Overloaded motors, capacity burns past red, driving every component beyond its rated edge. Keep the core producing, squeeze profit from the strain, and refuse the shutdown they expect. Ambition bites through limits, our crew holds the line while overloaded machinery fights itself. Overloaded motors, thermal warning, strain. Bearings failing, coolant, maximum output. A coolant pump coughs, recovers, installs beneath the rise in demand spike. Copper wine is dark and behind cracked insulation. The main turbine shutters out a rhythm, throwing sparks from a worn coupling. Technicians brace the cabinet doors as internal pressure bends, latches and distorts the frame. Overloaded motors, thermal warning, strain. Bearings failing, coolant, maximum output. Overloaded motors, thermal warning, strain. Bearings failing, coolant, maximum output. Overloaded motors, thermal warning, strain. Numbers freeze at their highest marks. A relay chatters without release, while the backup unit takes double weight. Nobody steps away. Gloved hands reroute one final feed, trading safe margins for a narrow chance to finish the road. Overloaded motors push through the final load before the housing split, cut waste, hold focus and make each strain rotation count. Heat rolls over the floor, alarms merge with base, yet disciplined hands extract victory from equipment already standing at failure. Overloaded motors, thermal warnings, strain. clears as power drops. Scorch fans slow, unevenly, leaving smoke, hot bearings, and ticking metal in the sudden quiet. Overloaded motors, thermal. Yeah. Yeah. Subwoofers drive a warehouse floor until bolts walk out of their mounts. Ceiling dust falls in sheets. Hanging fixtures swing wider with each slow strike. And stacked bottles chatter across the bar. A concrete partition hums visibly before its first hairline. Crack opens, resonance, vibration, pressure, shockwave, rattling surfaces, rupture. Frequency, impact, roar, resonance, vibration, pressure, shockwave, rattling surfaces, rupture. Frequency, impact, roar, resonance, vibration, pressure, shockwave, rattling surfaces, rupture. Pressure gathers between parallel surfaces. Steel doors pulse in their frames, ventilation grills buzz, and a suspended pipe knocks against masonry. The next frequency lands deeper, turning the packed room into one vibrating chamber with no soft boundary. Resonance, vibration, bass fracture solid walls, hammering hidden weaknesses with repeated waves of force. Stand inside the pressure, keep the rhythm brutal and let success hit harder than resistance. Our crew owns the frequency. Every loyal voice adds weight until the room answers in broken stones. Resonance, vibration, pressure, shockwave, rattling surface. A resonating note catches the roof lattice and holds it trembling above the dancers. Window panels bow out, will recover then split along the corners. The kick returns with the compressed blast that flips loose chairs and punches plaster from columns. Ears ring while the floor continues moving. Resonance, vibration, pressure, shockwave, rattling surfaces, rupture. Frequency, impact, roar, resonance, vibration, pressure, shockwave, rattling surfaces, rupture. Frequency, impact, roar, resonance, vibration, pressure. Music drops to unsustained. Cracks extend through the partition and branching lines. Time for the vibration. Everyone waits inside the hum, then drums return and the weakened surface bursts outward under a single combined shock. Resonance, vibration, pressure. Drive the wave through every rigid surface and make the whole structure carry our mark. Feet strike together, voices sack and dense. Air shoves against the exits. Nothing weak survives this pressure. Only discipline remains when the ringing debris finally settles. Resonance, vibration, pressure, shockwave, rattling surfaces, rupture. Frequency, impact. Broken panels slide from their frames as the last low note rolls through rubble and fades. Beneath your vibration, pressure. Pressure, shockwave, rattling surfaces, rupture. Actuators dirt without sequence along an automated packing line. Robotic arms sweep beyond their mark zones, clipping rails and scattering crates. Stop buttons blink but fail to answer. Conveyor sections reverse suddenly, trapping loose cargo between machines moving under conflictions. Malfunctions, runaway deviation. Controllers, actuators misread, unsafe motion faults override. Malfunction, runaway deviation. Controllers, actuators misread, unsafe motion faults override. Malfunction, runaway deviation. Controllers, actuators misread, unsafe motion faults. Sensors report empty space where metal already stands. A carriage accelerates past its limits, which strikes the end. Stop operators, clear the aisle as another arm rotates backward, ignoring every safe coordinate stored in its controller. Malfunction, runaway deviation. Commands return as errors turn discipline machines into unpredictable threats. Read the flow, protect the crew, and move before each runaway stroke lands. We stay sharper than the fall, converting disorder into advantage, while dead controls lose their claim. Malfunction, away deviation. Controllers, actuators misread, unsafe motion faults override. Malfunction. A welding head fires outside, a shield burning bright scars across a guard panel. Guided carts abandon the lanes and circle toward blocked exits. The master console sends reset codes at separate units. Answer with fresh deviations. Chain snap taut as a lift and rig lowers. Rises, then swings malfunction. Runaway deviation. Controllers, actuators misread. Unsafe motion faults override malfunction. Runaway deviation. Controllers, actuators misread. Unsafe motion faults override malfunction. No pattern survives for long. One motor stalls while it's paired unit double speed. A clamp releases before the table stops. Through the confusion, hand signals replace software, letting the crew cross between parts of mechanical call. Malfunction, run away, ignore the line display. Trust the person beside you and cut power branch by branch. Wild motion loses ground against coordinated hands. Every failed instruction reveals another weakness, and every safe shutdown proves human judgment can outlast corrupted control. Malfunction. Controllers, actuators misread. Unsafe motion faults override malfunction. The final spindle coats down beside overturned crates, leaving scorched rails and silent machine locked in impossible positions. Malfunction. Runaway deviation. Controllers, actuators misread. Unsafe.
重要的物品就交给我吧。
Launchers kick loaded carts from a warehouse ramp onto a rain slick service road. Tires by engines climb and lane markers flick past beneath vibrating chassis. A convoy tightens formation before the first bend, using every straight section to build ruthless forward. Speed, acceleration, momentum, throttle engines forward, traction, speed and breakthrough. Convoy, inertia, acceleration, momentum, throttle engines forward, traction, speed and breakthrough. Convoy, inertia, acceleration, momentum, throttle engines forward, traction, speed and breakthrough. Throttle opens against the incline. Guardrails blur beside the route while wind claws elude bodywork. Drivers hold narrow gaps, carry stored momentum through the curve. The name toward a closing barrier without lifting their feet. Acceleration, momentum, throttle engines. Velocity rejects the brake, hurling our convoy beyond every cautious limit. Keep the engines pulling, hold formation and punch straight through the narrow wheel road. Success belongs to motion. Loyalty keeps each machine aligned while fierce acceleration tears distance from every rival. Acceleration, momentum, throttle engines for traction, speed and breakthrough. Convoy, a downhill grade multiplies the charge. Suspension bottoms over broken joints, spraying sparks behind the rear axle. The lead vehicle clips a divider and corrects without slowing. One by one, the crew threads through a service opening barely wider than the mirrors. Acceleration, momentum, throttle engines forward. Traction, speed and breakthrough. Convoy, inertia, acceleration, momentum, throttle engines forward. Traction, speed and breakthrough. Road signs become quick flashes at the edge of sight ahead. A heavy gate starts descending across the lane. Radios count the remaining meters. Engine denser together, compressing every reserve into one decisive burst beneath the falling steel. Acceleration, momentum. Carry the speed past doubt, past warning, pain, past every hand raised to stop the run. Tires stay planted in space and stays exact. We cross the threshold as one unit, converting raw propulsion into a clean breakthrough. Nobody behind can match. Acceleration, momentum, throttle engines forward. Traction, speed and breakthrough. Convoy, beyond the gate. Engine settle into a hard cruise, while sparks trail from battered frames and the block road shrinks behind. Acceleration, momentum, throttle engines. Yeah. Yeah. Calipers close around identical parts, moving beneath white factory lamps. Robotic pickers repeat the same arc, placing each piece at an equal distance from the next. Workers in plain uniform stand on numbered marks. Their hands rise, turn lower and reset. Without variation, measured alignment. Repetition, calibrated, identical sequence. Symmetry, order, mechanical uniform. Measured alignment, repetition, calibrated, identical sequence. Symmetry, order, mechanical uniform. Measured alignment, repetition, calibrated, Identical sequence, symmetry. A metronomic press stamps, matching edges into every blank. Inspection lenses reject the smallest deviation. Straight rows advance between rails while silent counters record each completed action. Nobody speaks above the measure click of synchronized tools. Measured alignment, repetition calibrated. Precision erases every face, reducing separate life to one repeated pattern. Keep your private edge, guard the bond, and refuse the mold beneath its perfect surface. Success needs discipline, yet loyalty protects the human difference. No calibrated system can duplicate measured alignment, precision calibrated. Identical sequence, symmetry. Order mechanical, uniform. Finished units enter square containers, arranged in flawless columns. Labels sit at the same angle, seals close at the same pressure. Across the aisle, masked operators pivot together when a lamp changes color. Even pauses arrive on schedule, measured by an indifferent central clock. Measured alignment, repetition calibrated. Identical sequence, symmetry. Order mechanical, uniform. Measured alignment, repetition calibrated. Identical sequence. One component lands slightly crooked. The line stops instantly, holding every arm in matching poses. A worker adjusted by hand, leaving a faint thumbprint the scanners miss. Motion resumes, but the hidden mark travels onward inside the order. Use the pattern without becoming its copy. Move cleanly, strike on time, and keep one choice beyond the measure plan. Our crew masters repetition and bends it toward ambition. Exact hands build success without surrendering every trace of identity. Measured alignment, repetition calibrated. Identical sequence, symmetry. Order mechanical, uniform. Measured, uniform boxes lead the floor in straight columns, carrying one concealed print beneath the cold geometry. A flawless packaging, repetition calibrated. Identical sequence, symmetry. Cantilevers buckle above a gutted concourse as bolts spit from masonry sockets. Floor plates tilt, stairwell share loose and loaded beams punch through lower decks. Rebar closet open air while dust rolls between snap columns. A suspended corridor twists sideways, dragging wall panels into the widening cavity. Fracture supports fallen masonry, twisted girders, ripping anchors, crushing debris. Fracture supports fallen masonry, twisted girders, ripping anchors, crushing debris. Fracture supports. Wait. White shifts through the damaged shell. Braces grown, joints peel apart and slabs hammer levels below. Boots skidding to refresh gap while another support bows past recovery. Nothing overhead stays aligned as the interior folds downward. Fracture supports. Concrete loses balance, pillars kick sideways and ceiling slam through every occupied level. Break past the tilting frame, outrun the fallen decks and keep your crew moving through dust. Each impact opens another void. Each broken brace turns the building into a weapon. Fracture supports fallen masonry, twisted girders ripping. Elevator rails bend around a crushed service shaft. Masonry bursts from low walls, scattering chips over slanted floor in the roof. Truss drops across the atrium, then pulls attached walkways from the mounts. Emergency lamps swing above rubble as the western section sinks, forcing every survivor to one narrow ledge. Fracture supports fallen masonry, twisted girders ripping anchors, crushing debris. Fractured supports fallen masonry, twisted girders ripping anchors, crushing debris. Fractured, no stable landing remains. Hands grip exposed rods while boots test fragments that crumble under pressure. Behind them, another bay caves inward with the grinding roar. The only route cuts beneath the beam, already splitting at both ends. Fracture supports. Drive through the rupture before the last platform drops. Shoulder past broken panels, clear the jagged trench and carry the crew beyond the failing shell. Stone pound steel, dust blinds the exits, yet hard steps keep landing until the wreckage finally fills itself. Fracture supports fallen masonry, twisted girders ripping. Final anchors tear free the remaining facade, pitches forward and buries the empty concourse beneath stone. Rods shattered glass and choking dust. Fracture supports falling. corridors end at welded plates inside an abandoned subterranean depot. Heavy shutters cover stair access and concrete blocks fill every service opening. Direction signs point towards sealed doors. The ventilation shafts narrow behind fresh grills. Even boots to circle the same box through sealed barriers. Locked corridors, enclosure blocked hatches. Perimeter escape, confined sealed barriers. Locked corridors, enclosure blocked hatches. Perimeter escape, confined sealed barriers. Locked corridors, enclosure blocked hatches. A security lock refuses every recovered key. Hinges sit behind armored housings, unreachable from the trap side. The crew maps each wall by touch, finding cold seams, blocked ducts, and on freight door too heavy to force. Sealed barriers locked, no passage, answers back, leaving every route buried behind steel and stone. Search the perimeter, keep the crew together and test each barrier with purpose. Isolation, one surrender. Loyalty turns 12 trapped hands into one tool but for escape. Confined sealed barriers, locked corridors, enclosure blocked hatches. Perimeter escape, confined sealed. A maintenance ladder climbs toward a hatch pinned by poured concrete below a drainage tunnel ends beneath an iron mesh cage. Phone screen show no reception through the layer. Wall supply sit in a shrinking pile while stale air settles near the lowest corridor. Sealed barriers, locked corridors, enclosure blocked hatches. Perimeter escape, confined sealed barriers, locked corridors, enclosure blocked hatches. Perimeter escape, confined sealed barriers, locked corridors, enclosure blocked. Knuckles detect a hollow section behind stacked lockers. The crew clears them quietly and exposes a brick utility opening. Each person takes a tool, attacking separate mortar joints until the sealed surface begins to loosen around its center. Sealed barriers break the weakest border, pass debris backward and wide in the opening without splitting the group. Fresh air reaches through the first gap, shoulder by shoulder. We carve a route where none existed, carrying every member beyond the enclosure. Before the ceiling should find sealed barriers, locked corridors, enclosure blocked hatches. Perimeter outside air floods the breached utility shaft as the last person crawls clear and the block depot remains behind. Sealed barriers, confined sealed barriers, enclosure blocked hatches. Bus bars tremble behind an open distribution panel as blue sparks crawl between exposed contacts. A damaged insulator spits white flashes into the cabinet. Meters jump without pattern. Copper traces blister relays misfire and sharp interference crackles through every connected control line. Arcing contacts, voltage interference. Copper relay surges, insulation current discharge. Arcing contacts, voltage interference. Copper relay surges, insulation current discharge. Arcing contacts, voltage interference. Copper relay surges, insulation current. Charge gathers along the ground to frame. A loose terminal spits and arc across adjacent rails, leaving black pits and polished metal. Technicians pull back as voltage swings drive erratic commands into pumps, locks, and rotating in equipment. Arcing contacts, voltage interference. Static cuts the circuit, slicing clean commands into bursts of electric violence. Ride the interference, protect the crew and turn each hostile surge into power for the climb. Sparks attack every junction, but our focus stays grounded when corrupted current lashes through the room. Arcing contacts, voltage interference, copper relays. An arc plume blooms between 2 feet of bars bright enough to erase the panel markings. Magnetic force kicks cables against their clamps. Breakers trip, reset, then chatter under returning noise downstream. Motors jerking conflicting directions while scorched insulation releases a bitter cloud around the enclosure. Arcing contacts, voltage interference, copper relays. Surges, insulation current discharge. Arcing contacts, voltage interference, copper relays. Surges, insulation current discharge. Arcing contacts, voltage interference. Frequency spikes, punch through the diagnostic screen. One probe catches a false reading, another melts at its tip. Behind face shield, steady hands isolate the dense branch and hold the main feed against another violent fluctuation. Arcing contacts, voltage interference. Ground the stray charge, split the infected branch and keep essential power moving toward the floor. Every flash exposes a weak connection. We convert danger into knowledge, then rebuild the past stronger while electric noise dies inside the severed line. Arcing contacts, voltage interference, copper repaired feeds carry a steady load back through the club. Arcing contacts, voltage interference, copper relays. Terminals display conflicting shipment totals inside a windowless data office barcodes point to missing crates, timestamps overlapping out to signatures. Print to spit, revise, manifest before clerks finish reading the previous versions. Every screen offers another convincing contradiction. Corrupted entries, forged timestamps, distortion, archives, misread files, evidence, deception. Corrupted entries, forged timestamps, distortion, archives, misread files, evidence, deception. Corrupted entries, forged timestamps. A clean entry changes while the cursor rests elsewhere. Backup logs contain gaps shaped like deliberate edits. Operators compare paper copies, finding serial numbers shifted by one digit in delivery routes assigned to non-existent docs. Corrupted entries, forged timestamps. False records poison trust, turning every verified fact into a weapon for thieves. Trace the edits, protect the crew, and expose the hands behind the polished lies. Our loyalty survives corrupted files because real work leaves marks no fabricated ledger can erase. Corrupted entries, forged timestamps, distortion. A database mirror returns forged inspection. Photos attached to genuine case numbers. Audio transcripts lose crucial seconds between questions and answers. Someone has planted duplicate accounts that confirm each other. Analysts isolate the infected server but copy distortions. Already travel through every connected terminal. Corrupted entries, forged timestamps, distortion. Archives, misread files, evidence, deception. Corrupted entries, forged timestamps. Forged timestamps, distortion. Archives, misread files, evidence, deception. Corrupted entries, forged timestamps. One discarded receipt breaks the illusion. Its physical stamp matches a warehouse camera frame. The archive marked empty. The crew builds a parallel timeline from scars.
遭受敌人攻击，遭受敌人攻击，遭受敌人攻击了，遭受敌人攻击，遭受敌人攻击，遭受敌人攻击，遭受敌人攻击，遭受敌人攻击，遭受敌人攻击了。
Compare every source and follow material evidence beyond the screen lies. Multiply quickly, but they cannot move, wait, or hide every witness. We rebuild confidence through proof that make the guilty answer to the people they betrayed. Corrupted entries, forged timestamps, distortion.
体力少なくない？
Archives, misread files.
重要的物品就交给我。
少なくない？
Files replace the forged chain. While printed evidence locks inside a cabinet, untouched by the compromise network. Corrupted entries, forged timestamps, distortion. Archives misread. Turnstiles jam as bodies pour from opposing platforms into one passage. Shoulders strike, shoulders rails bending, drop bags vanish under stampede shoes. A bottle bursts against a pillar. One shove travels through the packed tall, multiplying until the center mass surges. Without direction, stampede, collision packed shoulders surging. Barrier shouting pressure, recoil chaos.